Hi there. So it's been about a year since my last proper reptile collection update, and plans have changed considerably. So now, instead of being upstairs in a study, the snakes are now in the lounge. So I have the same IKEA rack as I did last time. I have the 3 royals at the top, I have the house snakes underneath them, and we've had to make space for the PlayStation underneath that. And then I have the green tree python cage as well, and I've managed to fit the fish tank from a different video down at the bottom as well. I have a few more that are stashed up there on the Blu-ray rack, but that's the collection I have at the moment. So plans have changed since the last video because we needed the upstairs room as we have 3 kids. I'm planning on having a 4th kid, and we'll most definitely need that space for the kids at some point. At the moment the 2 big kids are in the same room, but we'll definitely need to move one out and shuffle kids around. So at the moment I have this little corner in the lounge. So we've got this fireplace pillar thing here, and there's the fireplace down here, and I've been given this little corner to keep snakes in at the moment. So what I have is the same IKEA rack that I had from before and upstairs, and plans at the moment is to have big display vivariums here and maybe move the rack upstairs, but we'll just see how plans like that go. I'll do a separate video on how the fish are doing, but it's just important to note that the fish tank is now here at the bottom of the reptile rack. I have some pipes going out onto a window for an indoor aquaponics trial, but I'll talk about that more in a different video. This is my male royal. He's a lesser platinum as well, similar to the female, and he hasn't grown that much since I last showed him. That's where the male kind of tapered off and he was overtaken quickly by the large cinnamon female, and now she's completely left him in her dust. He's quite small, but he's really healthy. He eats the worst out of all the royals that I have, but I suppose that's normal for a male. He won't eat as much as the females, but he's healthy. He's been with the female quite a bit, and hopefully he'll get the job done. So this is the green tree python cage. This is the same cage that I had him in last time I did an update. It's the Viv Exotic terrarium, and this has worked quite well so far, but I've currently about to buy, like tomorrow we're going to go collect it. We've got a 1.5 by 1.5 by 2 foot tall Exoterra terrarium that we want to use instead, and I've got some cool plans for that I'll share later on. So I don't think I've posted any updates since he turned completely green, and the colors are really good. It's difficult to make out the blue on it. You can see along the top of his spine, you can see a few blue patches, but they're kind of like blue and black together. So with the lighting in here, I did an LED solution at first because LEDs are really efficient, but the LEDs burnt out really quickly, probably because they're next to the big reptile radiator and they didn't last very long. So what I've done instead is I've gone with cold cathode tubes, and this seems to be doing the job quite well. It's quite bright, it lets me see them at night time, and it doesn't provide any heat or anything like that, and so far it's not got any dimmer. It seems to do the trick. The branch that I've got in here is a silver birch piece of wood. I didn't do any drying out or anything of this piece of wood. I just grabbed it from a wood when I was walking past, cut the piece off, brought it here, cut it down to size, and then mounted it. And that was about 6 or 7 months ago, and it's been doing well since then. Here we have the cage of the albino brown house snakes. These guys are pretty cool. They look amazing. They've grown loads since the last update, but they have not tamed down at all. They're still really feisty. They'll bite at the first chance, and they're a bit mad. One of them seems to be in the blue. I've never seen a big brown house snake that has been aggressive though, so I still have hope that when they get bigger they'll calm down. These guys have been absolute champions. They've not missed meals or anything like that. They've been like amazing snakes flat out. I am keeping them together, which is a bit risky. I've done that a lot in South Africa where I kept house snakes together. It's usually fine except for at feeding time, although I did have a mishap the other day where I put one of the snakes back, and after I'd fed them both and the other one grabbed it and I had to separate them. So this is not going to be the long-term solution. When I move things around in the rack and I get rid of the fish tank eventually, these guys will definitely each get their own cage. This is my newest addition. This is a royal that I got from a friend of mine, Nicky Chin. He bred this one. It is a toffino, which is a combination of the toffee gene and an albino. And the white along the back is actually a lavender color. I'm not sure if it's coming out in the video, but I believe as these guys get older, that lavender color becomes darker and a lot of their oranges come out more. I just thought this guy was amazing. I was originally waiting to get a banana, but when I saw this guy I couldn't wait, and they have similar-ish colors, so I decided to go for him. So he's a little male. This is my female cinnamon royal python. I've had her for 2 or 3 years now. She's grown really nicely. She's been my best feeder among the royals. When the others stop eating for some strange reason, she normally just carries on great. There's been a few times where she's not eaten, but it's been quite rare. She's now about 1.4 kgs, so I reckon next year she may be good to breed. I got her from the same guy who I got my new royal from, the new toffino, and that's my friend Nicky Chin. This is my big lesser platinum female royal. She has grown loads since last time I showed her. She's about 1.9 kgs at the moment, so she's definitely breeding size. I've had her and the male together, which is why the male is in a different spot. He's not in the rack because I gave his cage to the new toffino, and he's in a temporary one on the floor until I can get the rack sorted out. Yeah, she's absolutely massive. She's really thick. I keep thinking, is she ovulating? Is she growing follicles? I have no idea. I don't know how to check that stuff. I just keep putting her in with the male, or rather the male in with her, and hoping that stuff happens. In the previous year when I tried that, I actually caught her and the male copulating, so I know they were at it then. I don't know, I haven't caught them this time, but just leave them together and see what happens. This is my European grass snake. The other one I had 2 at the last update. The other one died for some reason, like halfway between then and now, so halfway through the year. I'm not sure what the issue was. They were both eating fine. That one kind of stopped eating and then it just died, so I don't know what the issue is. But this one's doing really well. I put that little Tupperware upside down here because it seems to have slowed down and might be trying to hibernate. I'm not sure what the issue is with that, but again, it still seems healthy. When it was eating up until like a few weeks ago, it was eating regularly. It's still eating pinkies, so it might just be going through hibernation or something like that. As you saw, it was on the shelf, so it wasn't heated or anything, so it probably is feeling the cold and trying to hibernate. So these little snakes are both new. These are babies that my friend bred. This was Nicky again, the same guy who gave me the cinnamon and the toffino. I got these little guys from him. This one is the male. He's just a bit lighter than the female. And this is the female. It's really nice having these guys again, like in their wild coloration. I had the albinos, but having these color ones, this is like the same size and same color that I would run across catching snakes in the wild in South Africa when I was a kid. So these bring back a lot of good memories for me, and I'm really excited to have them.